rain, and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed the rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer, and the winds changed. The green was easy, and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer, and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed the rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom, and the moon rose. The way was easy, and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom, and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. And peace spread over the land. And the guardian stars are shining, and the night is bright and clear. I dreamed of freedom, and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang. The sound was easy, and the song was clear. And the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and the shame and debts are clear. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain, I dreamed of rain, and peace spread over the land.
Oh, that's such a beautiful song. Thank you so much. James Brough on piano and Richie McClusky on drums and sound effects from heaven. Good morning, everyone. Those of you who are here today, we're so happy that you're in our presence because there's nothing like being together with another human being, right? Other human beings. And of course, those of you that are watching us virtually now or anytime in the future, we're also really glad that you're here with us. We are celebrating the month of December, which is the month of the journey of becoming, as we close the theme for the year, which is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And today, the topic is finding the holy. And what I mean by that is that we get to, you know how they say in the Christian tradition to put the Christ back into Christmas? So this is about really finding the holy in the holy days, but not just in the holidays, but in every day, which is really what we teach. And that there's only one thing that's happening. In our teaching, we say, that all life is sacred. And so the only thing that's happening is the sacred making itself known to us, for us to see that more often, and how there's one thing we can decide to do to have that experience where we can see the sacred in the holy more often. And I'm getting all kinds of scratches, Michael. Do you know what that's about? The Wi-Fi thing?
That microphone, I'm sorry.
All right, that's okay. So, we'll put up with it. We'll find the holy in it. Yes. So my name is Frankie Timmers, and I'm the spiritual director here at Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. And if you want to know more about us, whether you're here or you're virtual, just look us up on the web, cslmorristown.org. We also do our best to keep our events current. And so one of the things that you may have noticed is that we are having our very last celebration in this building on January 2nd. The building is sold, we're leaving, and we're on an adventure, and I'm really excited adventure, and I know some of you are, and some of you aren't, and some of you are kind of in the middle. But we cannot quite announce yet where we're going next, but it's only a less than 15-minute drive from here, and it's going to be a really magical experience. And we are still dotting the I's and crossing the T's, so we will let you know as soon as we know. But we'll have a beautiful goodbye celebration here in person on the 2nd of January. Michael is doing his last chakra workshop right here at the center, so you want to come and share that, because Michael is going to be working, so he won't be here for a little bit on Sundays. If any of you would like to volunteer doing sound, we would love your help with that. But on Tuesday the 21st, on the evening of when the solstice begins in the morning, in the evening, it's going to be a workshop from 7:30 to 9 p.m. and it's called the Full Chakra Solstice Meditation. So these flyers are on the back table for those of you that are here. If you'd like to support us and would like to put us under your Christmas tree, you can find all that information on the website as well. And there's, of course, envelopes in the back if you'd like to leave your gift. So if you're online, use the bubbles and the opportunities to say hello and make comments and let us know what you like and what you need and what you love, and say hello to one another. All that stuff is always fun, I find. So we have another special announcement. Theo Tilton, who is one of our licensed practitioners, just got a brand new book hot off the press. It's been an ebook for a while, and now it's a real book, and it's really, really lovely. It's called The Practice Method, a 30-day blueprint for living your extraordinary life. So proud of Theo. Oh. So we'll have to do a book signing and all that stuff sometime, right? But Theo is going to take a bit of a sabbatical as a licensed practitioner. Of course, he's still going to be here, right? But he's just going to take a little sabbatical as a licensed practitioner. So this is his last day assisting us for now. And so he's going to bless us right now with an opening treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer, and a guided meditation. Theo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, let's take a nice deep breath. Knowing that every single breath is a brand new beginning. The inhale. And the exhale is a completion event. We're in this endless cycle of beginning and completion. So right here, right now, this beautiful day, this wonderful day, the sun is shining. I call this community, this building, all of its congregants, its leaders, its artists, blessed and very blessed. And so I know today is a very special day. I know that the words spoken here in this sanctuary and being broadcasted out online are the perfect words. They're being received through the airwaves with love, ease, and grace. I call that blessed. I release it now. I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is. So now I'm going to guide us on a meditation. It is from this moment we reflect on our lives. We close our eyes. We focus on the breath. Wherever you are, feel the environment around you, the chair you sit upon, the floor you stand upon. It's there. It's right here, it's right now. Life, filled with experiences. Some we love, and maybe some we don't love so much. And there is a contrast in this world of duality. The physical, the tangible, the manifested world that we live in this human body, this vessel, given the grace of having all of these experiences. We look at this duality and it serves as a reminder that everything here is to serve us, through us, as us. Just for a moment, bring your attention to a scenario in your life that you are very pleased about. You love it. This is holy. Feeling that experience of this thing you love. In your mind, say, this is holy. I am holy. I am. I. Now pull your attention into a scenario of life that is not so pleasing. Something that you'd rather be different. Knowing that this contrast serves us, serves you, serves me, through us, as us. Regardless of how this scenario feels. This is holy. In your mind, say, this is holy. I am holy. This contrast serves me, through me, as me. I release any contrast of heartache, fear, distaste, dislike. I surrender this over to the universal mind, the divine mind, the mind of the I Am. And I know, and I trust, it is handled with ease, with grace. I accept all of my experience as holy. I bless every experience as holy. Everything is holy now. I was a boy each week. Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. And he would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything's holy now. Everything, everything, everything's holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything, everything, everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but even their magic trick is the only thing that's here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, find them when there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, I can barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in the sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven second rate hand me down, but I walk it with a different care, 'cause everything's holy now. Read the questioning child's face and see it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. Another new morning comes to say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush and singing like a scripture verse. Made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven second rate, hand me down. But I walk you with the reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Ah, that song moves me every time I hear it. Thank you so much. When I was coming up with a topic this week, it's kind of like it's a whole week thing, starts on Mondays. That's the song I kept hearing. So I'm like, James, will you play Everything is Holy Now? Yes, it's one of my favorites. So those of you that were here last week, or you were able to listen to the recording, I talked about how when the world seems to speed up, like with the holidays, that we who are on the spiritual path are asked to slow down. And that just means that we're constantly being invited to be more present. And so slowing down then is a spiritual practice, right? I mean, do you notice it in your own life that the invitation to slow down is almost always there? Whether it is you're running around doing errands or visiting people or working on your list, or sometimes even when I'm home, I find myself going up the stairs so quickly that I stumble. And it's just that invitation again to slow down. So one of the ways that we slow down is we remember that everything is holy. Even when we struggle, even when we suffer, even when we hear on the news what's happening in the world, especially in the south of our country with the storms, can we pause and slow down long enough to remember that there is a holy moment available for us? And so I want to share a story with you. This story has come in many different versions. This version happens to be the story of the teachings of Jalaluddin Rumi and Shams of Tabriz, the 12th, 13th century mystic poets. And it's a story that is about the sayings of Moses, which are called hadith. In a hadith, God spoke to Moses, "Oh Moses, I was hungry, but you did not feed me. What will you do if I come to your door again? Oh God, you are above going to any door." "And what if I do?" God insisted. "I'm indeed very hungry. Prepare me some food and I shall return tomorrow." The next day at sunrise, Moses began to prepare a variety of dishes. Soon everything was ready to be served, except he did not have enough water. A dervish, which is a student, a Sufi student, happened to come to Moses' door at that moment asking for alms. "You've arrived just in time," said Moses, who proceeded to hand him 2 jugs to fill with water from the well. "I will serve you 100 times, said the dervish. He took the jugs, filled them with water, and then returned, and Moses gave him a loaf of bread in return. Having gone through a lot of trouble to create a feast for God, Moses now sat waiting. As the hours passed, there was no sign of God. So finally he distributed the food among his neighbors, wondering what the moral of this affair might possibly be. Did the secret lie in being gracious to his neighbors, or was the intention to show his irrefutable submission to God? This episode passed, until later Moses had a revelation and asked God, "You ordered me to prepare you a meal, but you never came." "I did come, but you didn't even give me a loaf of bread without making me bring you 2 jugs of water first." There are so many stories like that, right? We seek the spiritual in every person. We feel that only those who are kind are deserving. We have all kinds of thoughts and judgments happening in our consciousness about our differences between humanity. But we forget that the main thing, the main essence of all spiritual teachings and all religions is that spirit is in everyone, and for us to seek that in everyone. And I know that's not always easy. Well, maybe it's just not easy for me. Maybe it's really easy for you. But it continues to be a practice, right? And so that's because there's only one thing happening. The sacred is expressing itself by means of life. It's what we believe about that makes the difference. Is whether we see that or not, when we see it or not, that we experience the difference. And because we believe that there's a universal law of cause and effect, it's not just the seeing or the not seeing. It's the immediate effect this has on our body, our mind, our hearts, and our souls. Not to be used against us, but to use to awaken to the presence of the sacred within us and around us. And so when we don't see it, can we call that the rich soil of our becoming? The rich soil of our becoming. Because if you're anything like me, and I think we're all more alike than different, is that I have a tendency to focus on what I am not, or what I'm not yet, and criticize that and judge that. But instead, can we simply realize that how we feel about what we aren't yet or don't have yet is the rich soil of our awakening? That can only happen when we see the experience as sacred. And so what we do is we pour on the holy. We pour in the holy. We pour the holy, the sacred, our awareness that spirit is everywhere present, onto those experiences until that which is in the way dissolves. It's a constant practice. So if we think about it, the practice we're doing is just one thing. Sometimes we say, oh, I have to work on this and work on that and work on this and work on that. Well, really, no, there's only one work. There's only one thing, which is to remember the sacred in everything, everyone, everywhere, all the time, and to be willing to look deeper where we cannot see it yet. To be still long enough, to slow down long enough until we can feel it again. Because it's not out there. It's in here, and the out there is just a reflection of that. And so the invitation is to take just one little step. Just one little step. Sometimes people say, oh, you know what, I'll never master this or I'll never master that. Well, that's a really great affirmation, first of all, and often unconscious. And so then the invitation is to say, in this very moment, what is one thing I can do, one thing I can see, one thing I can feel that reminds me of what is sacred? Maybe it's looking in the eyes of your grandbaby or your puppy or your kitten. Maybe it is looking at a beautiful sky. Maybe it is feeling how nature is continuing to evolve. Maybe it is looking out the window and see the beautiful sky. And so it is my meditation teacher who talks about how we're either in the drama of our fears or we are in the recognition of all that is sacred. And I think there's enough drama to go around. There is in my life, if it wants to be, if I let it, right? And I'm sure there is in your life. Again, not a bad thing, just noticing, like, oh, wow. What does that reflect? It reflects my forgetfulness, and it invites me to reconnect with that which is sacred within me and within life and within the world. So it's just, when we're challenged, it's just we've forgotten the truth. We have forgotten who we really are. We have forgotten what we really are. We've forgotten that one thing. We've forgotten what life is really about. That's really just that simple. And so, what is that one thing? What is that one thing that is asked of us then? That one thing that is asked of us is to remember the truth of our very being. And then not just to remember it, but to actually pour it into ourselves until we move from that place. Knowing that it's nowhere else. It's just inside of us already, waiting to be revealed, uncovered, experienced. So let's think about what is one thing that we all can do. Let's just think about that for a moment. What is one thing that you and I can do? What is one thing today that you can do to remember the sacred? Well, there's one thing that we can do is maybe think about where we can be more generous. So I want you to close your eyes, and I'm going to guide you through some questions that are examples of the one thing. And so as you close your eyes, just take a breath and just feel yourself sink into the sacredness within yourself and asking yourself, where can I be a little more generous? With whom can I be more generous of heart? Whether it's in actual connection or in my imagination. Or one thing can be, where can I look beyond the surface and see something deeper happening? Where can I look beyond the surface and see something bigger, deeper, more sacred happening? And where can I be more forgiving? If there's one thing for me to do, and that one thing is to be more forgiving, where can I be more forgiving? And where or how can I have more compassion? And where and when do I need to slow down? There's one way, one place where I can slow down and be more present. And in what way can I be more gentle with myself? Where do I need to more deeply understand, or how can I try to walk in someone else's shoes that I've kept out of my heart? Someone I know or maybe not. How can I be more understanding? Can I walk in their shoes just for a moment? How can I take in more beauty, or joy, or love, or peace, or harmony? Pick one. And so open your eyes. What is one thing that was big and lit up and loud and made your heart shake a little bit? Anybody?
Forgiveness of a family member.
Forgiveness of a family member. One thing, forgiveness of a family member.
Forgiveness of people who don't call Marty or visit him while he's so ill.
Forgiving people to not call Marty while he's ill. Yeah. What else? Anybody else? Nothing?
Being more present.
Being more present.
Slowing down.
Pick only one, you pick two. Take it back. Pick one of those two. So the whole idea, right, is just one thing. Just one thing, yes.
Embracing challenges.
Embracing challenges, yes. And you know what happens? This is a gift that you can give yourself, and when you give yourself that gift, that is your gift to the world. So think about one little thing that you can do differently, in having more awareness that life is sacred, and just one thing, and practice that, realizing that it's not just the gift you give to you, but you give to the world. And so I want to close with a story that I've shared before, and I'm reading it again because I need to hear it again. This is a story I carry with me. I read it often. If I'm waiting in line at the bank, it comes out of my pocketbook and I read it because it touches my heart so much. And it's an ancient story. It's an ancient story from the time of Genghis Khan. And it's a famous Sufi story. So if you receive an invitation that relates to your one thing that you've chosen to practice. When Genghis Khan invaded Turkestan, his Mongol soldiers stopped at the village of Rigara, about 20 miles from Bukhara, Uzbekistan. Most of the villagers had fled in terror, but Khwaja Arif was found working peacefully at his loom. An officer reported this unusual occurrence to Genghis Khan, who had the Khwaja brought to him. Genghis Khan asked him through an interpreter why he had not fled in terror like everybody else. And Khwaja Arif simply replied, "My outer attention was on my work, and my inner attention was on God. I have no time to notice what is happening in the world around me." Genghis Khan was so impressed with this reply and with the peace and tranquility of the Khwaja that he ordered his soldiers to leave the village in peace. And he asked Khwaja Arif to go with him to Bukhara and advise him whom he could trust. Unlike the people of the other cities which Genghis Khan captured, the inhabitants of Bukhara were not massacred. What you and I do in a simple spiritual practice is not just for us. It's for everyone on this planet. How we show up then is our gift to the world. Let's close out with a healing treatment. In this very moment, I surrender to the simplicity of spiritual truth, which is already within my own being. It's everywhere present. It's the sacred in life. And whether I see it or I don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. I know it's there. And so today, I pour the light and the love of the universe into me, and I allow it to settle in and clear the fog of my mind, the worries of my heart, and the concerns about the world. I am the gift. My spiritual practice, my connection with the divine, my living light, my living love is the gift to the world, is the part of the healing that wants to and is taking place. And maybe I'm not meant to see it, but I'm definitely meant to be it. So today I forgive myself for my forgetfulness, and I celebrate the remembrance, which is that beautiful dance of duality that is really always taking place, because it's not about arriving. It's about being in the present moment, remembering that the breath is a gift, that my life is a blessing to the world, and that my healing is spirit revealing itself by means of my experience and my commitment. So today I celebrate all life, and I'm committed to see the sacred in all things. And I trust and know that life unfolds in sweet perfection in every day, every way. That is worthy of celebration. For that and so much more, I am grateful. And so it is. So those of you that are here today and have some time, we would love your help with some of the final touches that we need to do in the building. Of course, we still have a few more weeks left, but everything is unfolding in divine right action, and we're truly grateful and blessed and grateful to all of you that are helping. I know Bashi would love some help untangling strings of light, because she's going to be decorating for us for the next few weeks. So let me see if there's anything else I need to tell you. I don't think so. So now we're going to have some wonderful music with James and Richie. Thank you, everybody.
Finally I rest, no more guessing where I'm going. Finally I trust that the wind knows where it's blowing. You created heaven and earth long before my birth. The entire universe keeps turning. You hold every child in your arms, like the sky full of charms, and they know who you are. I'm learning grace. I can feel grace. I can feel it moving through my soul, promising you'll never let me go. Finally I see every moment has its reason, simply meant to be, like the turning of the season. You created all with your hands. I need not understand the invisible plan you're writing. Everywhere such infinite love, so much more than enough, keeps lifting me up. I'm learning grace. I can feel it. Grace, feel it moving through my soul. Promise me you'll never let me go. Oh, grace. Grace, grace.